go! Battlefield Hardline. Well, hello, boys and girls and fellow dippers. Crumps here again. Here we are on Battlefield Hardline. It's been a few weeks now since it's been released. I thought I'd give my my likes and dislikes on the game, just so you've people that haven't bought it and who are on two minds, might want to watch this video just to see what I like and what I dislike from the average gamer. Right, so let's jump on straight to like, shall we? The gunplay. Right, the use of the guns, it just feels so much better. I mean, despite the increased recoil in some of the weapons, the gunplay just feels so much smoother, like it did in Battlefield 3. That's what I like. It feels so much better. And moving on, that's time to kill as well. Now, while it can be frustrating getting killed, it feels good that people actually die in the amount of time you expect them to. I mean, you shoot them 5 or 6 bullets, they're going to go down. Whereas, I don't really want to compare it too much to Battlefield 4 because it's a completely different game. But Battlefield 4, you can fill someone with a whole magazine, they still won't die. That's how bad it feels to me anyway. Right, moving on. As you can see, people are actually dying. Four shots I think it took there. Mind you saying that, I think this weapon is 12,000 rounds a minute, so 12,000 rounds? 1,200 rounds a minute. 12,000 would just be insane. General player movement matches Battlefield 3, which is what I prefer. It feels like you're not carrying around about 200 pounds of weight on your back. I can't actually remember struggling to climb over pebbles or steps. Watching the video then, that brings me on to a point that I forgot. Front knife no longer counts. You can't get counter knife. It's just a swipe like it was in Battlefield 3. So if you run out of bullets and you're literally just standing there and the only thing you got is your knife, you don't have to worry about trying to knife them and then, ultimately getting counter knifed. Specific weapons. You can only use some weapons with either side, i.e. the M16 for the police and M416 for the criminals. And you might be saying, well, I want to use both. I was like, well, yeah, but I suppose at the end of the day, I prefer the idea that you can concentrate on using that one weapon for that one side, rather than just it being overused, like the M16 was overused. I mean, eventually in Battlefield 3, you unlocked the M16 for the Russian, you unlocked the AK-47, I think it was, or whatever it was for the US once you got to a certain threshold. I thought it was quite good. I quite enjoyed that. Made you, work for it rather than just, here's the weapon. Class-specific weapon, like isn't a set of guns that you can use for all classes. Like, again, going back to Battlefield 4, you could use carbines or DMRs for whatever class you want. I hated that. I preferred it in Battlefield 3 when, DMRs were for snipers, which makes sense. Dedicated marksman rifles, snipers. Makes sense really. And carbines for the engineer class, because they would use carbines, but we'll come back to that later. Paying for the guns and accessories you want, rather than having to get 500 kills just to unlock the Coyote site like I got for the ACWR back in Battlefield 4. I just prefer that so much. The new game modes, Hot Wires, good fun. Although you can play it for 3 or 4 games and it's good fun. You can drive around, hang out in the car window doing drive-bys. It's just funny as hell. You can definitely play it by yourself. You can go lone wolf. You don't need people around you. Heist is good fun. As long as you've got a good squad and a good team. If you're on a bunch of randoms which have no idea what's going on, it's just frustrating as hell. But if you're in a server and you've got people communicating with each other, it's great fun. Blood Money is again decent mode to play. Again, you can play it solo. That's what I do like about this game as well. You can play it solo. I can't do that at Battlefield 4. Battlefield 3, I can just about do it. But this game, you can just jump on by yourself and you just have a good time. Right, moving on to dislikes. Spawning. Oh my god, the spawn in this game, especially in Team Deathmatch, is absolutely horrendous. I mean, spawning Battlefield games, in my opinion, has always been bad. I can always remember back in Battlefield 3, I used to spawn in front of half the enemy team half the time, and that was on Conquest. Let's hope they fix that. So it's more in team deathmatch. It's not so bad in the other game modes. Oh, here we go. This is an example. I spawned right behind this guy. For some reason I had a single fire as well, which was quite annoying. But yeah, I spawned right behind him. And if you watch the videos we go along here and watch the guy's name, it's enough for exact same example. Right, anyway, moving on while you watch that. Destruction. Apart from specific buildings on some maps, destruction is nowhere near as much as it should be. Bushes or fences that would crumble if you drove through them don't. Buildings that are hit by RPGs should have walls that take damage, but don't. There was one map, I can't remember what it's called, where all the buildings and walls collapses. But you know, that should translate into other games, but they don't. Saying that, there are quite a few walls within the buildings. You know, they just crumble under like weapons fire like they should. But the rest of the time is not. It's awful. And on the screen now, you know, if I was a decent sniper and I spawned there, you know, I would have killed most of those people. Well, I'm not too bad. I'm not that good. Which also brings me on to the quick pull bolt. I think it's far too quick. It takes 2 rounds to kill someone. If you're on medium range, you've got that time, and you don't panic, you can take down quite a few people quite easily. It's just too quick. It needs, needs a lengthier, cooldown time between each pull. The competitive game modes, I've played them. I played them with some people, and unless you've got 10 people together on 2 separate comp communications that know what they're doing, it's rubbish. I jumped on with 4 other people in the squad. We played against 2 or 3 randoms, and it was the quickest and easiest games ever. It just seems absolutely pointless. Right, going back to what I was saying about class-specific weapons, I don't like the fact there are no universal weapon classes. I know I've basically contradicted myself, but I think I'm talking more about like stuff like PDWs. I mean, Battlefield 3 PDWs was the non-specific weapons and the shotguns, which I liked. It was good. I liked the fact that the sniper could chuck a silencer on the weapon and go and do some recon like he should be, or close quarters you can have a shotgun. I mean, I didn't like in Battlefield 4, sorry, where the carbines DMRs. That's what I'm on about. Having carbines for every class makes no sense to me. PDWs does. So basically, what I'm saying is, I think this game feels more like Battlefield 3, and that's what I prefer. I prefer Battlefield 3 to Battlefield 4. But saying that, I still love Battlefield 4, so I love all the Battlefield games, so I'm trying not to compare it, but it's very hard not to when it's the latest Battlefield game. Right, but carry on with what I dislike, usual what happens in Battlefield games: kill exchanges, shot round corners, reload glitch. It's all going to happen. It's all happens a lot in the past Battlefield games, so it's not going to change anytime soon. So on the whole, I'm enjoying this game immensely. Okay, so it's not a perfect launch. Weapon balance is pretty non-existent for most weapons, but I've been able to go into the game quite quickly. Haven't crashed, haven't had any server issues, so I generally only get angry or annoyed at this game because of my own fault, whether it's bad aiming, bad decision, or just general noob gameplay really. You always get shot round corners in Battlefield. Spawning has always, in my opinion, been bad in Battlefield games. I'm really looking forward to upcoming DLCs and patches. Will I get premium? I'm not too sure yet. I'll give it another couple of weeks to see what happens. Would I be ditching Battlefield 4? No chance. Still love that game, and all my friends play it, so it's a good laugh when I go back there. Will I choose Hardline over 4? More than likely, yes. Big statement to make, I know, but I find I can play Hardline or Battlefield 3 as a lone wolf. Although Battlefield 3, I always end up being on a complete noob team, and I probably rage quit. Battlefield 4 only seems playable with friends. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and enjoyed what I've been saying about the likes and dislikes. And well, I'll see you guys next time on the battlefield. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Got them! He's out!